Good evening to all of you, and I welcome all the UPSC aspirants who are, dedicated to crack this examination, right? So I welcome to all of you. We will be studying about economics. We will be studying about economics here, right or wrong? Now, when I think of economics, or when you think of economics, lot of you think that some kind of a graphical statistics, lot of indexes, full of data comes to your mind, and the student feels very jittery here, right? Because this is very tough subject here. It's not like that, because you see, you first of all, the most important aspect that I often say to my student during my interactions with them, that you need to understand what you are targeting for. Do you agree with me? Right? You need to understand what you are targeting for, what is your aim, and then you need to plan accordingly, right? So when I'm talking about economics here is a different ball game in UPSC. For what economics you had studied, because one of our friend Nazreen, she did some masters in commerce, some of you have done bachelors, some of you have done engineering, right or wrong? So most of you are coming from diverse backgrounds, you are already exposed to economics here. But the kind of economics that you exposed to, it basically talks about the economics discipline, right? The economics discipline in its pure sense, in its pure sense. But when I'm talking about economics in relation to UPSC, the subject matter of study of economics gets changed. It gets changed. How? Because here you are more interested to understand the application aspects. You are more interested to understand the application aspects of economics. You are more concerned about the macro aspects here, right? You are more interested to concern about macro aspect. You don't want to go into the nitty gritties of the data or whatever the mathematical things, but you should understand. If I ask you a question, okay, let me ask you a question. Which is the source of protein in our food habit for majority of Indians? What is the source of protein for majority of Indians in our food? Egg. Okay, you? Somebody think, okay, fine. Somebody is saying egg. Somebody will say mutton. Somebody will say chicken and blah, blah, blah. Right? But you will surprised to know the biggest source of protein for majority of Indians, you also know this. When I will tell you, though, you will say, so, oh my God, I was aware of this thing but didn't came to my mind. Pulses. Right? Pulses. It is the cheapest source of protein. Do you agree with me? Now, if I want to ask you a question, why the prices of pulses are so high? At present, because I'm a layman, I used to go to the vegetable market, I used to buy vegetables, I used to buy pulses. The average cost of pulses is coming approximately 120 per kg. And there are certain pulses which is somewhere 150 per kg. Right? Let me tell you the rate of potatoes. Aloo khate ho na? Aloo jante ho na? Right? The rate of potatoes at present is 50 rupees per kg. Right? Before that, have you ever heard that potatoes are selling at the rate of 50 rupees per kg? So now your question comes, ki sir, how it became so expensive? Am I right or wrong? Why potatoes are coming at 50 rupees per kg? This is a winter season. Winter season means the season of vegetables. Right or wrong? The real maza of eating food comes in winter. You are eating gajar ka halwa, moong dal ka halwa, hai na, nahari wari and all that kind of things, right? But here potatoes is coming at 50 rupees per kg. Your carrot The rate of carrot is somewhere 60 rupees per kg. How? You will be looking into this. Because your aim is to become bureaucrat. Your aim is to become civil servant. You will be looking into the larger aspects of macroeconomics. I will come later on into it, macroeconomics part, but you need to understand ki what is the demand, what is your objective of studying economics, right? Let's say, what is the difference between Singapore and India? Tell me, because I assume most of you have a decent educational background, so you must be having a decent knowledge, that I assume.
सर सिंगापुर में उनका कोई भी मतलब पानी का सोर्स नहीं और इंडिया में
You see, let me come to this. Yeah. Everybody think of Singapore and India. Right? So once the word Singapore comes to our mind, what comes to our mind is a wonderful place for tourists here, right or wrong? But if I say Singapore is also having a form of capitalism and India is also having a form of capitalist economy, what comes to your mind? You will say, sir, both are same. It is also a capitalist form of economy, it is also a capitalist form of economy. Then what is the difference? The difference lies in this capitalism they have adopted for, right? But in India, we are having a compulsive capitalism. कभी ये word सुना है? We have a compulsive capitalism because we shifted from mixed economy to free market economy. Mixed economy to free market economy. It was not our choice. It was our compulsion. Why it was our compulsion? What comes to your mind? Why it was our compulsion? Because we failed on the balance of payment crisis 1992. You know all these things. My work is to shake you. My work is to create vibrations in your mind. My work is to show you the path. You will start walking on it here. Because it was not our option, because our founding fathers had a different vision of economists actually. They were interested to create welfare-based economy. Now what term I had used? Welfare economics. Where you heard this term, welfare economics? You all are preparing for civil services. Where you heard welfare economics? And you all know this. Therefore, you see, if you read the UPSC notification, they say, we want to have a graduate student here. Nowhere they had mentioned you should be from IIT, you should from IIM, from Princeton, London School of Economics, MIT Boston, or some degree college in some here and there area. They don't bother about your background. What they are looking for? A person who is well read, right? A person who understands the surroundings, a person who has a keen interest to know the things and why they are happening. And let me tell you one thing very clearly, if you are able to inculcate these three things in your personality from today onwards, this is the first outcome of your class. From today onwards, you need to inculcate, number one, reading habit. Somebody told you have to read it. Reading habit. Why reading habit is important? Reading habit is not important only for the sake of cracking a UPSC examination. It is important because readers are leaders. This is very unfortunate that in a country like India, we have developed a direct proportionality relationship between education and job. So therefore, the first outcome that you will be taking from my lecture, that you have to inculcate reading habit. Reading should be a part and parcel of your life till you are alive. Because it's very unfortunate that in our schools and colleges nobody is teaching you this here. Therefore, before going to bed, you have to read. But reading doesn't mean that you go and you will start reading Suman Saurabh or Champak or Chacha Chaudhary. It's not like that, okay? You will, sir has told us to read, Mummy, I will buy Champak. Okay, so you will become Champak also in that case. Okay, you are not supposed to do that. So what you have to read? You have to read non-fiction. Do you know the difference of non-fiction and fiction? Do you know, are you aware of it? So you have to read non-fiction. What? Read autobiographies, biographies, read books on standard concepts which are coming in the market, right or wrong. Inculcate the habit of reading newspaper. That is the reason that you have often come across a lot of students, they have given one attempt, second attempt, third attempt, but if you speak to them, their language is pathetic. They cannot speak 4 sentences properly, right or wrong. They don't have the communication skills. They don't have the writing skills. They don't even have the listening skills. Do you know that? Where is the lacuna? And how we can rectify? Because in our schools and colleges, everybody is running behind the marks. And nobody is telling you that you need to read. And this exam forces you to read here. Because if you are not a good reader, you cannot qualify this exam. Wherever you go, whomsoever will say to you that I will make you IAS, I will give you my class note, no class notes will ever work to you, because the moment you will write, they will come to know what command you are having over your language here. Because you should know, you need to decode why, what is the intention of UPSC of including essay in your mains paper. Why? Are they bunch of jokers? Because they know it is not possible that you can, in interview, they can, on an average, they are giving a time period of 30 minutes to the students here. It is not possible, right or wrong? But they want to read your mind. They want to know what kind of isms are present in the back of your mind. They want to know what you had gained in the last 15 years of your education. How line of thought develops in your mind. That is the reason that essay is included. And that is what we are going to do in economics. What is economics? If a layman asks you, what is economics? Economics is nothing. The unlimited desires of men, how the unlimited desires of human beings will be met by the limited supply of resources. This is what it's all about. For example, you guys are, all of you are preparing for civil services. So you are having limited time period. Am I right or wrong? You are having limited time period. You have to sleep also. You have to eat also. You have to spend some time with your family also. You have to attend family functions also. Right or wrong? You are also engaged somewhere else. Somebody is working. Somebody are attending colleges. But in spite of all the engagements, you have to prepare for UPSC exam also. How you manage this balance? This is economics. Maza aaya? This is economics here. This is what we are going to teach. Here nobody will ask you what is the elasticity demand. This kind of question will not come in UPSC. What they are asking you, because you are a bureaucrat, you are going to become policy makers. Why? My question to you, why pulses are becoming expensive? Why suddenly you are seeing in Delhi, how many of you are from Delhi? Most of you are living in Delhi. Nowadays you are seeing a phenomena that most of the people behind their cars are writing Gujar. Jat ke tat. Right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? Why? What happened? Suddenly? How this thing is happening? What pleasure are they getting? This is called phenomena of newly rich class. This is called phenomena of newly rich class. Now you are a UPSC aspirant, immediately question should come to your mind. Sir, how this phenomena of newly rich class is related to the assertion of their identity? Am I right or wrong? How they become newly rich? So you can say, answer is your economic policy of 1992. This is how policy is impacting your life. This is the part of your GS paper 2 also. How policies are made, how policies are making interventions in your everyday life. Right or wrong? Are you getting what I'm saying to you? So therefore what happened? Before economic policy of 1992, we were following the model of mixed economy, welfarist approach. Government is doing everything. What kind of bread you was eating? Ask your parents. What kind of bread? Modern bread. Remember? Modern bread. Right? There is a desi ghee comes of Varka. Know that? और अभी क्या हो रहा है? कौन सा देसी घी खा रहे हो? आशीर्वाद. ऐड आती है ना, आशीर्वाद, मिल्क फूड, है ना? कौन सा मक्खन खा रहे हो? अमूल, ब्रिटानिया. दूध कौन सा आ रहा है? अमूल दूध आ रहा है, ब्रिटानिया दूध आ रहा है. Right or wrong? Different kinds of milk. अभी this girl is wearing which t-shirt? Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss है ना? Hugo Boss. कहाँ से आया Hugo Boss? क्या है ये? ब्रांड. ये ब्रांड कल्चर डेवलप कैसे हुआ? How it happened? How Hugo Boss, your Tommy Hilfiger, your Lacoste I would say, right? They are emerging in market. People are going in Connaught Place, you see, they are going and buying the products. A time was there in India when we had how many cars? Only 2 cars. Maruti and दूसरा Fiat Padmini. और बाकियों के पास क्या होती थी? साइकिल होती थी. लेकिन अभी क्या है? You just take a walk, you will at least within 15 minutes you will say somebody is crossing the road by Audi, by BMW, Jaguar, Porsche. तो as a student of economics, you should ask question, sir, ये मारुति से ये ऑडी पे कैसे पहुंच गए? ये क्या हो रहा है सोसाइटी के अंदर? क्या चर्निंग हो रही है? राइट और रॉन्ग? am I right or wrong? तुम सोचो पहले इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस कितने थे? I am from IIT Delhi, right or wrong? I have done my electrical engineering from there. कितने कॉलेज थे मेरे टाइम में? IIT, रुड़की, DC, जामिया, पामिया, ले दे के कहानी खत्म. If you are good enough, you can make it. If you are not good enough, तो फिर क्या होगा? भगवान भरोसे जिंदगी चलेगी फिर. Right or wrong? But now what is happening? So many engineering colleges are there. ये क्या चक्कर क्या है ये? This is called impact of policies on your life. Impact of policies on your life. And we will figure out the answer of all these questions in your economics. Today, your farmers are protesting at Singhu border. Let's take a current example. What is UPSC? Interlinking your theoretical knowledge with application part. Why they are protesting? They are protesting against 3 principal agriculture farm laws enacted by the government of India during the COVID time. But why? What is the reason? You're an academics, you're intellectual people here. Because let me tell you one thing very clearly, the moment you decide that I'm going to sit for this UPSC civil services exam, it makes you class apart from the bunch of the masses. ये बात हमेशा याद रखो, इसलिए proud of yourself. It takes a lot of guts. Let me tell you about myself here. I'm also from Delhi. I'm another Chavanprash. Okay, what I'm doing? 10th पास करूंगा, फिर आई गॉट गुड मार्क्स इन 10th. ओके, काम करते हैं, साइंस ले लेते हैं यार. आई टुक साइंस. क्या करोगे साइंस लेके? अच्छा IIT करूंगा यार. तो प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर IIT यार, और कोई तो रास्ता है नहीं. 3-4 ऑप्शन होते थे, IIT, मेडिकल, NDA लग नहीं सकता, तो ओके बैटरी लग गई है यार. राइट और रॉन्ग? तो क्या ऑप्शन बचा? मेडिकल और इंजीनियरिंग. वर्कड हार्ड, गेट इनटू इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, पास्ड आउट, फिर क्या करेंगे? अमेरिका जाऊंगा यार. तो एवरीबडी इज गोइंग टू अमेरिका. वेंट देयर, कम बैक, समथिंग हैपेंड. फिर पता लगा यार सिविल सर्विस इज समथिंग दैट यू शुड एस्पायर फॉर. बट आई फील दैट यू आर मोर इंटेलिजेंट देन मी बिकॉज यू आर वेरी यंग. And at this young age, if you're making this mind that I'm going to bell the cat for UPSC, it speaks volumes about yourself. You're getting my point? That is, it is utmost important that you should land up at the right place with the right person. Otherwise, this decision will become haywire. Because there are a lot of champaks are there, where they can misguide you, create so much, blah, blah, it's an exam for study 20 hours, 22 hours, nothing like that. It's a normal exam. The only thing is content doesn't matter, strategy matters here. And what is the role of faculty? To keep you motivated, to keep you the right guidance, give you the right notes here. That's your work done. Make it simple. This is how you have to decode economics. अभी पढ़ाया कुछ नहीं है, लेकिन तुमने क्या सीखा? You have come to know the difference between capitalism between Singapore and India. You have understood welfare economics. Welfare economics talks about welfare of the people here. And you see, but why you are lacking? If I would at your place, I would have immediately raised my hand and said, sir, Professor Amartya Sen awarded Nobel Prize in Welfare Economics. It reflects lack of reading on your part. But whatever is the problem, we will be able to rectify it because you have come to know about it, now work on it, execute it, and make your weakness and convert your weakness into strength. Are you getting my point? And who was known as, and what Amartya Sen wrote in his book Argumentative Indian? You know, he wrote a book Argumentative Indian. Write it down, your pen will keep writing. Pen chalta rehna chahiye tumhara. So Amartya Sen wrote a book Argumentative Indian. In that book, he talked about welfare economics. And what he said, the father of welfare economics, according to Professor Amartya Sen, is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. You're getting my point? Now you have another great economist, Professor Abhijit Banerjee, right? Professor Abhijit Banerjee and her wife, Miss Duflo, right? Both the couple got Nobel Prize. For why they have got Nobel Prize? Now you tell me, all of you are preparing for civil services. Do you have any idea? They bagged Nobel Prize for finding new methods of poverty eradication. Write it down. They might ask you in your UPSC prelims, boys and girls, okay? I will write it down the name, Abhijit Banerjee and his wife Esther Duflo. Esther Duflo. I'm not able to write it properly, Deepak. वो वाला पेन लेके आओ वाला यार. And one more person was with them, Michael Kremer. All these three got Nobel Prize in Economics in 2019. I was expecting this answer from your side, guys, but it is quite disappointing that you're not aware of it. Okay, but no issues. We will make you, this is a called Commando Training Program, right or wrong? So this is your first day. After the moment you complete your course, you will become a great economist in your own selves here, that I can assure you. But my only concern is that whatever is being said to you, you need to execute it here. Okay? In which year they got the exam? In which year they got the Nobel Prize? In 2019. And one more fact, UPSC will ask, not straightforward. If the question comes, which of the couples in the world bagged economics Nobel Prize? फिर क्या करोगे? फिर सोचोगे सर ने तो बताया नहीं था, सर ने पढ़ाया नहीं. बेटा सर जो है ना गोली देगा वाले को. Right or wrong? So what you will say? You will say Abhijit Banerjee and his wife Esther Duflo is the first couple who bagged economic Nobel Prize. Write it down. This is called UPSC. And for what reason they bagged the Nobel Prize? Write it down. Finding new ways to tackle the poverty. Finding new ways to tackle the poverty. Okay, let me ask you one more question. Economics is relatively a new subject. Do you know that? It's a new kind of subject. It is not an old subject like your, like mathematics. Yeah. Mathematics is considered the oldest subject here. It's not like your philosophy, right? You know the philosophy? What is the tell me, if I want to ask you a question, what is the biggest gift to the world of Indian philosophy? मजा लोगे, you need to do interlinkage, multidisciplinary, पढ़ाई का मजा होता है, right or wrong? तुमको क्या बनना है? चंपक बनना है, right? क्या बनना है? You have to become leaders, कि जहां खड़े हो जाओ तो हम हैं बस और कोई नहीं है फिर. That kind of spirit. The economics is a new subject. It emerged way back in the 19th or 19th century, that's it. So now question comes to your mind, sir, if it is new subject, then in which year Nobel Prize for Economics constituted? This question can come in your UPSC prelims. Likho, write it down. Nobel Prize in Economics. Nobel Prize in Economics constituted in 1968. Nobel Prize in Economics constituted way back in 1968, and the first person to back the Nobel Prize was Jan Tinbergen. Let me remove. दिखाई नहीं जा रहा है इससे यार. The first person to win the Nobel Prize in Economics, Nobel Prize in Economics was Jan, write it down, Jan Tinbergen. He was a Dutch economist. Dutch, who are the Dutch people? Do you have any idea, guys? He was a Dutch economist. कहाँ पहुँच गए यार? जर्मनी. डच जगह का नाम है. You will give me the shock of my life. I will go into the state of oblivion. Oh my God, guys, buck up, buck up. Dutch is a language. It is spoken in Netherlands. And the people who are living in Netherlands, they are called Dutch. Okay? And what is the capital of Netherlands? कहाँ रहते हो यार तुम? कहाँ से आए? जुपिटर से आए हो तुम लोग? अभी तुमसे पूछेंगे क्या करोगे इधर, आईएएस बनेंगे इधर. What is this? Come on, guys. लिखो Amsterdam. And why Amsterdam is famous and it was in the news? बताओ जल्दी से. Quickly. Tell me quickly. It was in the news. Capital of Netherlands. It was in the news because International Court of Justice, write it down, International Court of Justice, जिसको हम क्या बोलते हैं, ICJ, is situated in The Hague. कौन सी जगह situated है ये? The Hague. And why this was in the news? Due to Kulbhushan Kharbanda, Kulbhushan Jadhav, that naval officer who was picked by the Pakistan as a spy, and right now government of India is fighting a legal battle to get him out of Pakistan. भूल गए तुम लोग यार? Kulbhushan Jadhav, it was in the news everywhere. This is called awareness. तो पहली चीज सीखो, inculcate awareness पैदा करो अपने अंदर. Right? Write it down quickly. Right? और बताओ, और एम्स्टरडैम तुम कैसे भूल गए? आमिर खान जानते हो? आमिर खान कौन है? कौन है आमिर खान? छोले कुलचे बनाता है. Who is आमिर खान? वह मूवी स्टार. पिक्चरें देखते हो ना, फिल्म देखते हो, मूवी देखते हो, क्या देखते हो? पिक्चर देखते हो या फिल्म देखते हो तुम लोग यार? मूवीज. ओह ग्रेट, यू वॉच मूवीज. ओह दैट टू, दैट्स फाइन, दैट एट PVR. तो कौन सी मूवी देखी थी तुमने? पीके मूवी देखी थी उसकी? तो पीके मूवी की शूटिंग कहां पर हुई है? एम्स्टरडैम में हुई है उसकी शूटिंग. तुम्हारा देखने का नजरिया बाकी लोगों के नजरिए से क्या होना चाहिए? अलग होना चाहिए. तुम्हारी नजर वहां पड़नी चाहिए जहां पर एक आम आदमी सोच भी नहीं सकता. बिकॉज यू आर गोइंग टू बिकम अ रूलर. तुम यहां पर हवलदार बनने नहीं आए हो, और नाम तुम्हें यहां पे हवलदार बनने के लिए पढ़ा रहे हैं. राइट और रॉन्ग? We are teaching you to create a difference in the society so that 20 years, 10 years down the line, you will be the people who will bring a new direction, who will give a new direction to this country, to create quality in you. Okay? What I said, create? Okay. Promise? Okay, then what is the difference between promise and commitment? I don't want a promise from you. All of you are studying in English medium schools? You know English? Okay, then tell me what is the difference between promise and commitment? Because you are having GS paper 4 also, na? Your ethics. What are the difference between these two words? Tell me quickly. The promise is also definitely, if I am promising, if I am, let us say Hugo Boss is asking us, will you come tomorrow at 4 o'clock? Okay, I will promise I will come at 4 o'clock. Then what is the difference? Promise. Oh, come on. Have you ever seen anybody making commitment to himself? It's not possible. We make commitment to others also. Right. सलमान खान तो याद नहीं आ रहा जिससे मैं कमिटमेंट कर लेता हूं, मैं खुद ही भूल जाता हूं. ऐसा तो नहीं याद आ रहा ना. You see, the difference between promise and commitment is this, that promise is subject to your comfort zone. Promise is subject to your comfort zone. For example, if Hugo Boss says to me, sir, will you be coming tomorrow? At what time you will come? Okay, I said, okay, come 4 o'clock. She said, sir, will you come at definitely at 4 o'clock? I go, okay, I promise you I will come at 4 o'clock. Promise means that it is applicable according to my comfort zone. I can come, or I may not come. Clear? But commitment means whatsoever be the circumstances. For example, here at Abhigyan, I am committed to give you the best. We will cover your syllabus on time. You will get the best I can challenge. Nobody can match you, whatever you study here. That is what I can challenge about myself. Other faculties are also good. But as far as I am concerned about it, okay? This is my commitment. This is my commitment. It is not subject to my comfort zone. I said, whatsoever be the circumstances, I will be with you. Right? अब भूलोगे तो नहीं लाइफ में, या भूल जाओगे? It went into your hypothalamus. कहाँ होता है hypothalamus? क्या होता है hypothalamus? यार कमाल है यार, तुम तो बिल्कुल ही एकदम से चौपट हो यार एकदम. Hypothalamus क्या होता है? अबे साइंस भी तो पास करोगे जीएस में. भाई तुम्हारे प्रीलिम्स के अंदर जनरल तुम तो लेकिन वो दिस इज लाइक जैसे बिग बाजार जाता है ना, बाय 1 गेट 4 फ्री, सारे लोग घूमते हैं वहां पे. अच्छा दाल का ही पैकेट, अच्छा उसके साथ और भी कुछ फ्री मिल रहा है. ऐसा होता है ना, वहां पे बहुत सारी ऐसे औरतें आ जाती हैं, आदमी भी आ जाते हैं ना. वो साले सोचते हैं नमक के साथ भी हमको क्या मिलेगा, आटा फ्री मिल जाएगा, या आटा के साथ नमक फ्री मिल जाए. आई थिंक तुम भी यही सोच के आए हो कि ठीक है इकोनॉमी की क्लास है, साइंस भी पे लेंगे, इथिक्स भी करेंगे और पूरा जीएस पेपर 2 भी कर लेंगे, है ना. बाय 1 गेट 3 फ्री. You see, चलो जोक्स अपार्ट. देखो तुम्हारा टॉपिक जनरल साइंस भी है ना, जनरल साइंस भी तो पास करोगे. एंड एवरी ईयर अप्रॉक्सीमेटली यू आर गेटिंग 18-20 क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम जनरल साइंस इन द प्रीलिम्स. दिस इज कॉल्ड स्टडीज. That is why I often say to my students and all my students who have now who are in the services also, that you need to have a hunger in your belly for reading. आज के बाद जब तुम घर जाओगे, जब तक तुम पढ़ाई नहीं करोगे, तुम्हें नींद नहीं आनी चाहिए. समझ में आ रही है हुगो बॉस? और तुम्हें समझ में आ रही है रेड टी शर्ट? जब तक तुम पढ़ाई नहीं करोगे, तुम्हें नींद नहीं आनी चाहिए. ये अपने आप से, अब अपने आप से कमिटमेंट करो कि अगर मैंने स्टडीज नहीं करी, आई विल नॉट गो टू बेड. व्हाटसोएवर द रीजन, आई हैव टू स्टडी, स्टडी एंड स्टडी. बिकॉज ऑलवेज रिमेंबर, सफलता का जो रास्ता वो किताबों से होके निकलता है. एंड इंडिया नीड्स गुड पीपल. दिस इज द, यू नो, आई गिव एन एग्जाम्पल. माई मेटरनल अंकल, ही वॉज अ टॉपर ऑफ सिविल सर्विसेज वे बैक इन 1972-73 समवेयर. तो एट दैट टाइम द चार्म फॉर सिविल सर्विसेज वॉज IFS, इंडियन फॉरेन सर्विसेज. तो ही जॉइंड इंडियन फॉरेन सर्विसेज. तो व्हेन आई मेट हिम, तो ही वॉज द एम्बेसडर इन जर्मनी. ओके, तो ही केम ऑन माई कज़न सिस्टर्स मैरिज एंड आई वॉज अ गुड तो नहीं कहूँगा, बट आई वॉज एन एवरेज स्टूडेंट एक्चुअली, बट बीइंग एन एवरेज, बट लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैव वेरी हाई एक्सपेक्टेशंस फ्रॉम मी, राइट? तो आई वॉज सिटिंग विद हिम and I was preparing for at that time for my IIT JEE exam. So he was talking to me. So I asked him a question कि मामा जी आपको सबसे अच्छी कंट्री कौन सी लगी, पहला क्वेश्चन। और दूसरा क्वेश्चन मैंने पूछा उनसे, आपने वर्ल्ड में कितनी कंट्रीज यू सो फार यू हैव विजिटेड। तो फर्स्ट ही सेड सो फार आई हैव विजिटेड 60 कंट्रीज अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड। 60 कंट्रियाँ मैं वर्ल्ड में देख चुका हूँ। एंड प्रेजेंटली आई एम द एम्बेसडर ऑफ जर्मनी। तो मैंने कहा आपको सबसे बढ़िया कंट्री कौन सी थी? और मुझे लग रहा था जवाब आएगा जर्मनी, स्विट्ज़रलैंड, यूएस, कनाडा, स्कॉटलैंड, आयरलैंड, डबलिन, राइट? मैंने सोच के जवाब दिया, मैंने कहा इंडिया इज़ द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल कंट्री। तो मैंने मन में सोचा मेरा मामा चंपक तो नहीं है यार ये, इंडिया इज़ द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल कंट्री यार। मैं कहा व्हाट इज़ ब्यूटीफुल इन इंडिया? तो उन्होंने वो हंसने लगे। उन्होंने कहा यू आर वेरी यंग एक्चुअली अश्विनी, तो व्हेन यू विल ग्रो अप एंड व्हेन यू विल गो टू यूएस, टू लंडन एंड सिंगापुर, then you will realize what is the beauty of India. And when the time came, when I went there, I spent my substantive time in abroad, then I realized कि हिंदुस्तान जितना खूबसूरत मुल्क इस दुनिया में नहीं है। I tell you about Germany. Germany में there is a river called Rhine. पता है ना ज्योग्राफी? अभी तुम ज्योग्राफी जानते हो ना क्या होती है? तुम्हें एनसीईआरटी किताबें ऐसे लिखा होता है, 10th क्लास में लिखा होता है ज्योग्राफी, GO ऐसे, पता है ना तुम्हें? तो जर्मनी में कौन सी रिवर होती है? राइन होती है। कौन सी रिवर होती है? राइन। तो मैं था, मेरे साथ मेरा फ्रेंड था, तो उन्होंने कहा कि वहाँ पे गाइड आया होटल में, सर वी विल टेक यू टू द राइन क्रूज, द माइटी राइन्स। तो हमारी भी हवा सेंट हो गई यार। मैंने कहा यार माइटी राइन्स यार। मैं कहा चलो यार अभी चलो, अभी पहनो कपड़े वपड़े और एकदम इसके साथ निकल लो, ये आज हमें माइटी राइन्स के क्रूज पे लेके चलेगा। तो आई वेंट देयर विद माई फ्रेंड ऑन द क्रूज ऑफ माइटी राइन। तो जब काफ़ी देर होगी, मैंने कहा ये माइटी राइन है इनकी। अबे ऐसे तो नाले इंडिया के अंदर यार, ये फैक्ट बता रहा हूं तुम्हें मैं। जो उसमें वाटर फ्लो है वो कुछ भी नहीं है। अगर तुमने बिजनौर के पास गंगा को देखा है कभी, गंगा बैराज, कभी नर्मदा को बहते हुए देखा है, ब्रह्मपुत्र को देखा है कभी? आज एक काम करना, यूट्यूब खोलना, पागल हो जाओगे तुम। पंजाब से सतलुज निकलती है तो 5 किलोमीटर पहले आवाज आने लगती है पानी की। मैसिव रिवर्स। यू गो टू हिमालय, आत्मा ऐसे होती है अंदर तक शांति प्राप्त हो जाती है। यू गो टू नॉर्थ ईस्ट, मेघालय, क्यों कहा व्हाई इट वाज नेम मेघालय? हाँ, बिकॉज इन मेघालय यू कैन फील दैट यू आर वॉकिंग विद इन द स्काई। ये ब्यूटी है वहां पर। अमेजिंगली ब्यूटीफुल कंट्री, अमेजिंगली डाइवर्स कंट्री। तुम राजस्थान जाओ, दाल बाटी चूरमा, राइट और रॉन्ग। एक बच्चे से पंजाब में पूछा टीचर ने, हमारी स्टेट का व्हाट इज दी ओके, देन उस बच्चे से पूछा क्लास में पंजाब में कि हमारी स्टेट का नेशनल बर्ड कौन है। बच्चा बड़ा होशियार था, वो भी मेरे जैसे, उसने कहा मैडम तंदूरी चिकन। राइट और रॉन्ग? डाइवर्सिटी देखो इंडिया की। तुम साउथ में जाओ, मसाला डोसा, रवा इडली, उत्पम। बिकॉज वाई आई एम कोटिंग, बिकॉज योर फूड टेल्स योर कल्चर। कल्चर पार्ट है ना तुम्हारा हिस्ट्री का। और व्हाट इज कल्चर? कल्चर इज नथिंग बट अ वे ऑफ लाइफ। You have kormas, you have niharis, you have biryanis, you have sheermals, right or wrong? Have you ever seen such a diversity in any of the country? बस इस कंट्री की प्रॉब्लम क्या है? लोग प्रॉब्लम है यहाँ पर। We are not getting quality people, passionate people यार। जैसे if you go to Europe, तो वहां पे लोग तुमसे मिलेंगे, हाथ मिलाएंगे, Hi, I'm a German। ब्रसेल्स में जाओगे लोग, Hey, I'm from Belgium, I'm Spanish। और हम कैसे? हम चवनप्राश है, हमें आज तक ये नहीं पता लगा मैं कौन। कोई गुजर है, कोई जाट है, कोई यादव है, किसी को अपने यादव होने पे बहुत प्राउड है, किसी को अपने ब्राह्मण होने पे बहुत प्राउड है। हैव यू एवर मेट अ सिंगल पर्सन इन योर लाइफ हु प्राउडली शेक एंड सेज आई एम एन इंडियन? यू विल नॉट कम अक्रॉस। Because that kind of consciousness is not seeping into our mind. अब ये भी क्यों है? This is also a subject of economics. That also we will decode here. समझ में आ रही है ना बातें तुम्हें? अच्छा, now we have discussed this. Now we will do one thing more. और एक काम और करना, one more thing you do. Today I will be discussing the entire syllabus with you. Because you see what happens in most of the places, people come, they start teaching, and you got lost in the topics itself, but you forget what are the dimensions, how I have to think. So here, I am not doing spoon feeding with you. I will not say you take my notes and chewing it, I will not say. But yes, I will say, if you come here in my class, I expect two things from you. तो लेट्स क्रिएट एसेंशियल एग्रीमेंट. एसेंशियल एग्रीमेंट जानते हो? कभी किया एसेंशियल एग्रीमेंट किसी के साथ? नहीं किया. वेरी गुड. एसेंशियल एग्रीमेंट इज, लेट्स क्रिएट एसेंशियल एग्रीमेंट बिटवीन मी एंड यू. इफ आई एम सेइंग यू दैट यू हैव टू स्टडी दिस, यू हैव टू स्टडी दैट ओनली. पॉइंट नंबर 1. कल को तुम अभी यहां से निकलोगे, मोस्ट ऑफ यू आर लिविंग हियर एंड बाय, तो लॉट ऑफ बाबाज आर देयर, ज्ञानी बाबाज आर देयर, ज्ञानचंद्स आर देयर, राइट और रॉन्ग. दे विल टेल यू नो, रीड दैट, दिस बुक, दैट बुक, डोंट डू दैट. अगर साक्षात तुम्हारे सामने ब्रह्मा भी आ जाएंगे तो तुम क्या कहोगे? हुगो बॉस, व्हाट यू विल से? यू विल से, आई विल नॉट लिसन विच बुक टू रीड, आई विल गो बाय माई टीचर, आई विल रीड ओनली दैट. पॉइंट नंबर 1. Point number 2, be ready to work hard, because there is no substitute of hard work. I am not creating a panic in you, I am telling the reality. If you are ready to work hard, if you are passionate, if you are honest to yourself, most of the people say be honest, be honest, be honest. अरे काहे का honest यार? कैसे बनेगा honest? हम अपने आप से तो सच बोल, जो व्यक्ति अपने आप से सच नहीं बोल सकता वो दूसरे से सच बोलेगा कभी? वो नहीं बोलेगा. So therefore, always be honest. When you are honest to yourself, if you finally, with your full consciousness, in your awareness, you have decided that I want to study economics here, then stick to it. If you made up this commitment, I want to be in civil services, then crack civil services with your first attempt. Don't think of second, third. No. You have this time only. And take it as a challenge, whether I am having the guts in me to bell the cat or not. Take it as a challenge, right? These are the things that you need to inculcate and be ready for writing. तो मैं कोई कहानी तो सुना रही हूँ ना, भगवत कथा तो हो नहीं रही है यहाँ पर यार कि मैं लेक्चर पे ले जा रहा हूँ और तुम लिखे सुने जा रहे हो यार, राइट? तुम्हारा पेन चलता रहना चाहिए. Whatever words of English I am using, whatever metaphors I am using, whatever similes I am using, because I know that guys, you are coming from different educational background, different schools, different boards, so I can understand the lacunas, the gaps in your education. Therefore, I always think that in my class, I work on my students' language also, their English skills, their speaking skills. So I always used to give a lot of examples. Yeah. So today, for example, in prelims, if question comes, who is the author of argumentative Indian book? क्या करोगे? क्या करोगे? Red T-shirt. Who is the author of argumentative book? भूल गए? अभी तो तुम्हें नाम बताया, अमर्त्य सेन. यार, be attentive. These things can come in the prelims, right? Okay. So now we will be discussing what UPSC expects from you. Okay. Right. First of all, you see, start writing with me, and after writing it, after understanding it, make it a fair copy and get pasted in front of your eyes in your study room or wherever you are studying. And keep reading until and unless it gets assimilated in your blood. That, for example, after 1 week, if I send you to Dr. Lal Path for your pathological test, your blood report will come out with economics syllabus. कि जो पाथ लाल पैथ वाला लैब है उसे भी झटका लग जाए, बेहोश हो जाए, और ये क्या हुआ है, हम तो यहाँ पे ब्लड रिपोर्ट निकालते थे, तो इकोनॉमिक्स की रिपोर्ट निकल रही है. इट शुड गेट एसिमिलेटेड इन योर ब्लड. ओके, लिखो. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल, व्हेन आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट इकोनॉमिक्स, it is given in GS paper 3, and here we will be studying both the aspects of your prelims plus mains. I will be studying and I will be covering all the aspects of pre-cum mains, so that you will be competent enough to solve all the questions which are reflecting in your prelims. You will be competent enough to solve the GS economics paper of GS paper 3. Therefore, we will be working on your answer writing also, right? Plus, how answer writing will come? Answer writing will come from your concept clarity and interlinkage of concepts with current affairs, with your current affairs which is happening around you. So these are the 3 things, 3 pillars of our preparation. Are you getting, guys? Right? So therefore you need to keep this in mind. So now let me discuss with you the GS paper 3 syllabus, and I tell you, if you are able to understand the syllabus, if you are able to understand it, 50% of your job is done. And I can challenge you, nobody else in Delhi teaches you syllabus. Right? They will teach you, they will tell you, read this book, that book, and all that kind of things. Okay? So therefore start from here. This is where the differentiator will set up here. Okay? So number 1, what they want you to know? They want you to know about Indian economy. They want you to know about Indian economy. What do you want to know in Indian economy? The question comes. It should come in your mind. You're a young girl. Because, and always remember, ask questions. Speak. Discuss. Make it a habit. You need to ask questions. Interact with your friends. Don't make friends with everyone. Make friendship with those people who are equally serious or more than serious with you according in their goal. Okay, otherwise other people will waste your time. Okay. So they want to know, when you are discussing about economics, they are interested to know about economics. Number 1, about planning. How planning is done in India. Number 1 is planning. Issues related to planning. Then you need to understand mobilization of resources. And third thing they want to know, they have mentioned, is growth. These are the 3 things that you need to understand about Indian economy. Any issues related to these 3 things? Issues related to planning, mobilization of resources, and growth. Now you see, first read it. I hope you have written that. Okay, I am giving you a 1 minute time. I have written only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words I have written. What is coming to your mind after reading this first? Is something striking in your mind? Something should strike in your mind. Let me tell you. You see how beautifully they have arranged the things. You need to understand that. You see, the most important thing is planning. Right? Because there is a famous saying in English, if you are not able to plan, it means you're planning to fail. Right or wrong? When you have a proper planning, only then you will be able to use the resources. Do you agree with me? If you are able to do the planning, only then you will be able to understand what kind of resources you are having, how you can do the mobilization of resources, and how optimum utilization of resources can take place. Do you agree with me? And once you are able to done this and this, only then you will be able to achieve growth. तुम पढ़ाई नहीं कर रहे, पढ़ा नहीं रहा हूं तुम्हें, और तुमने अगर ये समझ लिया तो you can write a mains answer right now. See the connection. Planning is related to mobilization of resources, and these two things are related to growth. तो पहली चीज आप क्या देखोगे आज के बाद, whenever you are reading a newspaper, if any article comes on related to economic planning, any article written on growth, or anything related to resources is coming, it should be on your radar. Immediately you have to stop, read that article, underline it, cut it, paste in your class note. This is the way to prepare. Is that clear? For example, these topics have become very important to us. Can you tell me the reason? Okay, let me tell you the reason here. You see right now India's GDP growth is going downward, right or wrong? You are looking at the COVID pandemic times, the COVID pandemic effect on Indian economy, or I would say, if I speak in larger terms, effect of COVID on the world economy, right? Even Chinese economy is in the recession. They are going in a negative way, right? Indian economy is going down. Therefore, this topic is important to you. Because in growth, you will be reading about GDPs, how growth happens, what are the components of growth, on what basis we can create growth. Then planning, why planning is important? Because you see, now I'm taking you to the GS paper 2. Because in UPSC, every subject is interrelated. If you are able to create interlinkages in your answers, if you are able to create interlinkages with your optional and your GS paper, you will rock like a rock star. And it is highly unfortunate because most of the people, they don't know how to do interlinkages because they themselves are not clear, right or wrong. So why planning is important? Because when India got independence, we have an option either to become a socialist economy or to become a capitalist economy or to become a mixed economy. Right or wrong? So what we have decided after looking at the circumstances and the founding fathers of our country, that we want to become we cannot afford to become capitalist because our industry is totally in a very nascent stage. Right? We will not be in a position to compete with the top multinational companies of that time also. Then again we will become slave. Right or wrong? The same story of East India Company will happen again to us. If we go for total socialism, it will lead to communism, and we have observed that the experience says, and if you look at the world across you, wherever the communism is there, it becomes a dictator government. You can take an example of USSR. What is USSR? जल्दी से बताओ. बीकानेर की दुकान है ये. क्या USSR? Hugo Boss. यूनियन सोवियत सोशलिस्ट रिपब्लिक. लिखो. यूनियन सोवियत सोशलिस्ट रिपब्लिक. और ये मैंने एक अलग चीज बताई है ना तुमको, अलग चीज बताई है. अच्छा, let me see how you have written. Show me your class note. Just sit there. I will take. Okay. तुम दिखाओ भाई अपनी बुक. Show me. मैं वहां आ नहीं पाऊंगा because कैमरा है यहाँ पर. Show me quickly. Where you have written? USSR. अच्छा, next page you have written. Okay. तुमको अच्छा, तुम आओ रेड टी शर्ट, तुम आओ यहाँ पर. बिकॉज आई विल टीच यू हाउ टू राइट. ओके, तुम दिखाओ भाई. यू शो मी. ओके, फाइन. नाउ यू सी when because this is how art of note making here, right? I am discussing something. When a teacher is interacting with student, I tell you about myself. When I decided that I want to go for a teaching profession because I was working with HSBC and other and top MNCs. So my family was literary. My father-in-law is a former vice chancellor actually. So they said, "Oh my God, Ashwin, you want to become a teacher? Are you gone? Are you not in your senses?" तो मैंने कहा यार ये क्या भसड़ है यार, मेरी मर्जी में कुछ भी बनूं. Why you are interfering in my life? Because this is when a teacher is taking a lecture, so he is having this intent. If he is a good teacher here, not any kind of a chavan parash here, okay? So he wants to give you lot of information here. So what happens if I am discussing economics, but in between USSR topic come? So what you will write in your note? You will write like this, note like this. Then you will make a box. Okay, this is the first intake from the class. So that when you will open your page at your home, immediately you can say, sir ने ये example दिया था, इसके साथ relate किया था. This is different from the topic. Therefore, when I will be writing my answer or when I will be appearing in exam, I also need to interconnect this thing to this topic here. ठीक है? What we had observed at that time USSR was a fashion. USSR was booming like anything, right or wrong. There was a Cold War was going on between US and the USSR, right or wrong. So therefore we decided we cannot follow their path. We want to go for such a solution so that we will have a balanced approach in economics. And that balanced approach came from the planning. What planning we did? First thing that we did is we instituted planning commission. We instituted planning commission. Now in 2014 when our Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi came, so what he did? He abolished the planning commission and established Niti Ayog. Therefore, this becomes important because it plays a very important role, because the role of Niti Ayog, the role of planning commission is that this body is responsible for making the 5-year plan for your entire country. It is the, you can say it is the radar of our economy. They are the people who set up radar of our economy. And here they will decide how the mobilization of resources will take place, will get distributed, which state will get how much funds, from which state wheat procurement will take place and it will be given to the state which is deficit in wheat. All these decisions are taken here. And if we are able to manage at this place and in this place, we are bound to have good growth rate. So in growth rate, we will also understand what do you mean by Hindu growth rate, Hindu rate of growth. What was the growth of India in 1950, 1955, 1965, then 70, and how we have achieved the growth rate of 8 to 9%? How we can achieve the target of becoming a 5 trillion economy? Am I right or wrong? So all these things we will be covering in this particular first unit. Getting how much? This is simply, I am not teaching you, I am discussing syllabus. And only by discussing syllabus, lot of things will become clear to you here. Right? Now after this, they talk about, may I rub this? All of you have written this? Okay. Now you write it down, the second topic. The first, second, third, fourth topic they talk about development and unemployment. Development and unemployment. Write it down. Okay, sorry, you can write it down. Employment, development and employment. Now, here also you can see the direct relationship. If you are having a development, definitely you are going to provide employment to your youth. And if you are not able to develop properly, the problem of unemployment will be staring at your face, which is the condition right now. Because right now, if you look at the recent statistical data released by the NSSO, India is facing the largest problem of unemployment here because of our economy is going in a negative side here. Done, right? Are you getting my point? Therefore, development and employment is having a direct proportionality relationship. Then you have, next topic, you have inclusive growth. They talk about inclusive growth and issues arising from it. And issues arising from it. And issues arising from it. Now, what do you understand by inclusive growth here? Do you have any idea? What basically means inclusive growth? Okay, let me tell you a story here, okay? In India, we always have this fixation, I would say fixation, that गरीबी हटाओ. गरीब नहीं होने चाहिए इंडिया में, राइट और रॉन्ग, गरीबी हटाओ. बट आई वॉन्ट टू आस्क यू, गरीबी हट सकती है कभी? गरीबी कभी नहीं हट सकती. गरीबी हट नहीं सकती. गरीबी हमेशा रहेगी. तो मेरे पास विकल्प क्या है? हाँ, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड. तो शी इज एब्सोल्युटली राइट. We have only one option to make people rich. To make people rich. Today, one girl is wearing Hugo Boss. Tomorrow, entire Delhi will be wearing Hugo Boss. Hugo Boss will become another brand of Gandhinagar here. That is our objective. And that objective is called inclusive growth. Inclusive growth means the growth which is touching the life of every section of society. Remember, अब इसको कनेक्ट करो किसके साथ? GS पेपर 2 के साथ. GS पेपर 2 में क्या है? कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में पहली चीज क्या है? प्रीफेस. प्रीफेस क्या बोलता है? वी द पीपल ऑफ इंडिया, राइट? And we the people of India, we need to have a social, economic and political justice, right or wrong? So when you are providing growth to every section of society, irrespective of religion, irrespective of caste, irrespective of region, that becomes your inclusive growth. That becomes inclusive growth. So we will study about inclusive growth. We will try to define inclusive growth. What is the scope, significance, issues relating to the inclusive growth? What are the bottlenecks that are coming in the way of achieving inclusive growth? What are the challenges in front of Indian economy for attaining this goal of inclusive growth? Clear? Okay. Then finally, then sixth topic, they talk about government budgeting. Government budgeting. Write it down. The sixth topic is government budgeting. Now you see, all of you, achha, what kind of government we are having in India? Oh my God, democratic government. Then what is the difference between American democracy and Indian democracy? Yeah, very good. Simple. You can simply say, sir, in India, we have a representative democracy. In our country, president is not getting elected by the people. President is a ceremonial head. In America, president is directly elected by the people. This is a very major difference between American democracy and Indian democracy. So when you are living in a democracy, democracy can be successful when we are aware citizens, right or wrong? As aware citizens in democratic setup, don't you think it is your obligation to understand how government is spending money on its people? How, right or wrong? Under which article government annual financial statement is laid down on the table in parliament? Don't you think you should know about it? Don't you think that you need to understand what are the different components involved in the government budgeting? How a money bill is presented in the parliament, right or wrong? What are the other aspects of government budgeting? Plan expenditure, non-plan expenditure, right or wrong? What is revenue deficit, fiscal deficit, effective revenue deficit, right or wrong? So therefore, we will be reading, understanding all those concepts here in government budgeting. Okay? Then you can come to another topic which is right now is a hot topic. That is your seventh, that is your major crop patterns. Write it down. Major crop patterns in various parts of the country. In various parts of the country. Achha, what do you understand by this? Major crop patterns in various parts of the country. It means you need to focus ki which is the area and how maximum utilization of that resources we can do. For example, the maximum wheat is produced by Punjab, right or wrong? From where the onion is coming? Onion is coming from Nasik in Maharashtra. It is the onion basket, right or wrong? From where the pulses are coming? Madhya Pradesh, producing a large chunk of pulses. So all these things, what is the crop pattern? Because agriculture economy is one, India is still agriculture based economy, right or wrong? And how and what is the cropping pattern available in India? So that we will be understanding here, and it is the foundation to understand the agricultural economy of India. So therefore, understanding of this topic is utmost important to us, right? Then they talk about different types of irrigation. Different types of irrigation. Different types of irrigation and irrigation system. Write it down. Different types of irrigation and irrigation system. Okay, tell me one thing, why irrigation is important? Irrigation is important because it is the irrigation system which determines your agricultural output. Am I right or wrong? And that is the reason, as you are seeing in Rajasthan, we have our government has built one of the largest canals. Punjab, we have a network of canals. If you go from anybody from Meerut or Muradabad kind of a thing? No. So if you go from Delhi to Meerut, so there comes a Ganga Nehar in between, right or wrong? What is it? This is a canal system. What is canal system? It is a part of irrigation system. There are different kinds of irrigation systems present in our India, so that we can enhance the availability of water to our farmers, because without water the agriculture cannot take place. Farming is not possible, and especially in a country like India, which is having a very differentiating kind of a rainfall. Some places it is very good rainfall, other places medium, and there are some places where there is completely no rainfall, no availability of water. Then what to do? Then we have to we need to make the use of technology. By using technology, we can provide water to them, and how the water will be reached to them through the establishing of efficient irrigation systems. So that you will be studying here, right? And then ninth topic, it talks about storage. Transport, talks about storage, transport, and marketing of agricultural produce, and issues related to it, and issues related to it, and the constraints, and the constraints, and the constraints. Write it down. Then I will discuss it later on. Then 10th topic you can write, I will write it down here. E-technology in the aid of our farmers. And 11th topic, you can write it down. Issues related to डायरेक्ट, इसको अंडरलाइन करो, डायरेक्ट एंड, और अंडरलाइन कैसे करते हैं पता है तुम्हें? तुम्हारा पेज फटना चाहिए यार. ओके, डायरेक्ट एंड इनडायरेक्ट subsidies, issues related to direct and indirect subsidies. What kind of subsidy? Farm subsidies. You can write it down. I will write down here, farm subsidies and related, and MSP, which is in the news. MSP means minimum support price. Write it down, minimum support price. And 12th talks about, this topic talks about PDS. You heard about PDS? That is called Public Distribution System. Public distribution system. Number 1, it talks about its objectives. What is the objective of PDS, public distribution system? What is the functioning? What is the functioning of the public distributing system? Number 3, what are its limitations? What are its limitations? And number 4, how we can revamp it, revamping of PDS. And here also it talks about one more issue, issues of buffer stocks. Write it down. Issues of buffer stock. And here I'll stop, and I want all of you have written. Is it visible to you? Okay, now you look at the topics. If I marked from here 7 topic, what it is written? Major crop patterns in various parts of country. Do you agree? First, you should know what we are producing, what we are capable of producing. Right? What is the strength of our agriculture? In terms of vegetables, in terms of wheat, rice, pulses, fruits, what we are having. हमारे पास क्या है? पहले तो ये पता होना चाहिए ना कि what we are having, what kind of soil we are having, what is the capacity of our soil to produce, what kind of, how much wheat we can produce, how much rice we can produce here, in how many states rice are grown, paddy is grown, wheat is grown, in how many states pulses are grown, what is the ratio of commercial crops and the food crops, where we need to focus, right? Now see the connection. The 8th topic talks about different types of irrigation systems, as I told you already. You understood the crop pattern, you understood what kind of food crops, commercial crops, fruits we are having. Now you know what is irrigation system, how the present irrigation system is working, how we can, because if I want to increase the agriculture output, I need to increase the irrigation system here. Because availability of water is the most necessary thing. Am I right or wrong? And look at the ninth topic, which is a hotbed in the news right now. The protest that is going on is related to this term. Storage, transport and marketing of agriculture produce. And issues related to it and the constraints. You have understood what we are growing, how much we are growing, how agriculture is feeding in our country by the irrigation system. Now, third is where you will store. What is storage capacity? How many godowns of Food Corporation of India you are having? Am I right or wrong? What is the transport network? If paddy is grown in Andhra Pradesh and you have to take it to Delhi, how it will come? It will not come by on its own foot. So you have to create a transport. So what kind of transport you are having? Either by rail or by truck or I would say roadways here, right or wrong? Which is most cost efficient? What are the constraints, right? And then they talk about marketing of agriculture produce. How the marketing will take place. A farmer's role is to produce. The remaining thing is a different ball game together here, right or wrong? If onion is getting produced in Nasik, how onion will reach to different parts of India? How the marketing of onion will take place here? Who will think about it? Do you agree with me? Right? Because you know, onion is a very staple food of India. Everybody, you go to South India, right? Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, you go to Punjab, you go to Himachal, you go to Northeast, you go to Jammu Kashmir, right? Everywhere onion is used. So therefore, your biggest responsibility, because onion cannot be cultivated anywhere, climate conditions has its own constraints, right? If the places where onion is being produced, how you will supply, how you will market that onion to different parts of India? And secondly, you have to export also to earn foreign exchange. Do you agree? So this is the topic. So what are the issues related to the storage? When I am talking about storage, the word technical word is coming to your mind. If anybody answers me, I will get a one pizza for him right now in the class. Very good, warehouse. But the question was very easy, so the option is cancelled here. Okay. Warehouse. Warehouses. Right? Why warehouses? What is the need of warehouse? What are the bottlenecks that we are coming in setting up warehouses? Because when I need to set up a warehouse, I need to acquire a land. Right? Now acquiring land will become a problematic. So you need to understand land reforms also. है ना interconnections. So all these things we will be studying in this. Now look at the 10th topic. E-technology in the aid of farmers. E-technology in the aid of farmers. Ki how e-technology can help to the farmers. Anything coming to your mind from this topic, e-technology in aid to the... Huh? Use of drones, yes. And one more thing that you can, I was expecting that you will tell me, e-chopals. E-chopals. It is an idea initiated by ITC, Indian Tobacco Company in Madhya Pradesh, e-chopals, right? I will tell you, you just need to understand that, okay? Then look at how e-technology will help to the farmers, that farmers can get the latest information about pesticides, information about equipments, information about right price, right or wrong. So all this can be made available easily by the application of e-technology. Now look at the 11th topic, issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies. So when you hear of farm subsidies, what comes to your mind? You see, we know that India is in our country, approximately 30% people are below the poverty line. Do you agree with me? And our farmers are not very rich. This is also very true. Only if you go to the places like Punjab or Haryana, the farmers are rich. वो भी little bit of some amount of farmers, not everyone. But there is a reason behind it that they are rich. It is also the result of policy intervention. So what is the result of policy intervention? The green revolution took place there. That also we will cover. Right? So now you see how we will create a level playing field. And farm subsidies, when I am talking about farm subsidies, it was the hot topic in WTO negotiations. Do you know that? Americans and other developed countries, they were putting pressure on India that India is giving subsidies to its farmer. So you should stop that giving subsidies to farmer and let our produce come in your market. Do you know that? That is what you mean by WTO, World Trade Organization. So they were deadly against direct and indirect subsidies. So when I am talking about subsidies, so you need to understand what is a direct subsidy. Why Aadhaar card was made? Aadhaar card was made to facilitate the idea of direct subsidies. Earlier what was happening? The things were taking place through the conventional route. The agents are making money, but the money was not coming to the farmer. In between, agents are making money, enjoying life, open the bottle every night, right or wrong. And farmers are dying of hunger. They are committing suicides. So therefore, an idea of Aadhaar card took place. They said if everybody is having an Aadhaar card, and if the Aadhaar card is linked to the bank, so government can directly transfer the cash to the farmer. Am I right or wrong? So this is called direct subsidy. So that the chain in between can be eradicated, and the farmer will become the receiving person here. Right or wrong? That is called direct cash subsidy, direct benefit transfer. है ना, ये पढ़ा होगा तुमने DBT. That is called direct benefit transfer. So all these things you will be studying in here. And there is another term called indirect subsidies. So what is the indirect subsidies? The subsidies that farmers are getting on fertilizers like potash, urea. Right or wrong? The farmers are getting subsidized rate here. Yes, exactly right. Wonderful. So all these things we will be studying here. Now look at the 12th topic. It's again a very important topic. Public distribution system, PDS. What it is called? PDS. Public distribution system. What is public distribution system? राशन की दुकान. Very good. राशन की दुकान. Okay. पहले क्या होता था? चीनी और गेहूं कहां से मिलता था? सिर्फ राशन की दुकान से मिलता था. मट्टी का तेल, क्या बोलते हैं इंग्लिश में उसको? कैरोसिन. कहां से मिलता था? राशन की दुकान से मिलता था. याद आया? Right or wrong? So therefore the concept of ration ki dukaan, PDS, right? And now what are the objectives of PDS? Because when PDS came into the picture, at that time the level of poverty was very high, and the government thought that it is our obligation, to deliver wheat, sugar to everybody, because these are the two basic components, right? Then what is the objective? What is the functioning? How PDS is established in society? How PDS is working in Karnataka, in UP, in Madhya Pradesh, in other parts of India? For example, Jharkhand. Jharkhand is doing very good on PDS. So what is the case study in Jharkhand? Right? Then your third is, they talk about limitations. What are the limitations? That corruption is involved in PDS. In villages, there is a high possibility that a person goes to a ration ki dukaan, he says, I want to have this ration. The ration ki dukaan person will say, mere paas to hai hi nahi. And he is doing black marketing, selling outside, but not giving to the intended beneficiaries. Right? So we will understand this. And then how we can revamp the system, how we can make PDS more effective, how we can make PDS a tool to address poverty, because we are having a right to food also. This is a bill, na, right to food. Connect karo yaar, fatafat, right to food. So how I will fulfill the right to food? The right to, in making fulfillment of right to food, PDS plays an important part. So therefore, what are the innovative ways we can create revamping of PDS? ठीक है? And then you are having, once the PDS is done, issue of buffer stocks. Buffer stock. Now you have done the distribution, you have distributed, but still you have to keep certain food grains with you. You need to maintain it because anything, anytime, anything can happen. Right or wrong, anytime, anything can happen. Now you are seeing COVID, entire lockdown. How you will feed your public? Tomorrow you will be district magistrates. You will become collectors. So how you will address the problem of food? So you need to have a buffer stocks. You need to have buffer stocks. So what are the issues of maintaining buffer stock? And for maintaining buffer stock, again I am coming to, you need to have a good warehouses, right or wrong? You need to have a good technology in warehouses. Otherwise the food that you are storing, it will go to rats. As Supreme Court has often said that in our country, food grains are eaten by rats and people are dying of hunger. So what kind of system you are having? Do you agree? So this is the topic. So far we have discussed this much and I hope you have enjoyed the lecture, right? So I am stopping my lecture right now here and tomorrow we will continue from here only. Okay? You want to ask anything to me? Done? Okay. Thank you very much for being with me.